וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים, ומלכות שמיים, וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים.
Baruchim habaim. Welcome, students. Zman le'ivrit. It's time for Hebrew. Today, yesh lanu sefer chadash b'Torah. We have a new book of the Torah. This week, we begin studying the Hebrew book Shemot. Shemot means names. I hope that as you closed out your week last week in Bereshit, you enjoyed all of your extra activities, and you proved to yourself that you are learning Hebrew. Remember, every step you take ahead is a step in the right direction. Let's learn the new vocabulary for Shemot. Let's begin on line 1. Ve'ele Shemot, Bnei Yisrael, Habaim, Mitzrema, Et Yaakov, Yishuveto, Ba'u. I'm sure that you already recognize some of the vocabulary. For example, the second line, Bnei Yisrael, the sons of Israel. How about the third line, Habaim? Were you listening closely as I welcomed you to our Torah study for today? I said, Baruchim Habaim. The Hebrew word Habaim means the coming ones. Can you guess what Baruchim Habaim means? What would you suggest the root for Baruchim would be? By listening carefully, we know that the word ends with Yud Mem Sofit, or Im. We know Im to be a plural form of a masculine word. What would the root be? Baruch. How many times do we say Baruch? Of course, you know it now. Now that we've taken the suffix off, you recognize Baruch to be blessed. Therefore, you can conclude that Baruchim means blessings. So, when we say Baruchim Habaim, we're saying blessings on the coming ones. It's a common greeting in the land of Israel to mean welcome. So, Baruchim Habaim, welcome. The next two lines of our vocabulary are also familiar. We know that the Hebrew word for Egypt is Mitzrayim. And we've also learned that when a place name ends with an ahe, it means toward. So Mitzrema means toward Egypt. And the next line, Et Yaakov. Yaakov we recognize as being the name Jacob. But just preceding Jacob's name, we have that funny little Hebrew word that has no English translation whatsoever. Do you remember learning about the word et? I believe we studied it in Torah portion Bereshit and possibly in Torah portion Noach and maybe a couple of other ones in the first book of the Torah. Et is a Hebrew word that simply points to a direct object. It has no English translation. And if we look at the last line, we find another common root, ba'u. This word contains the Hebrew root bet aleph, which means come. In this instance, it refers to many people in the past tense. They came, ba'u. But we see it also in line 3, haba'im. Remember the coming ones? Let's spend a moment taking this word apart and getting down to the root. Haba'im begins with the Hebrew letter He. A He in front of a word means the. This word ends with Yud Mem Sofit, the masculine suffix that indicates a plural word. So instead of the coming one, we have the coming ones. And once we remove the prefix he and the suffix im, we are left with the Hebrew root come. Let's take a look now at our challenge teaching number 3. It questions us dealing with Hebrew roots again. It asks, which 2 words in this verse use the Hebrew root that deals with coming? Do you remember the answers? If you write haba'im and ba'u, you are exactly right. Haba'im, the coming ones, and ba'u, they came. We'll see if you can figure out the second part of challenge 3 on your own. For now, let's close reading the very first line of the book of Shemot. If you look at your left-hand page, you will see a very, very wide open, large paragraph break. This denotes a new book of the Torah is beginning. Follow along or read along if you can. Let's begin. Ve'ele shmot b'nei Yisrael haba'im mitzrema et Yaakov isha uvito ba'u. Talmidim Metsuyan. Excellent work, students. Keep working this whole week and don't forget to do 10 minutes of homework each night. Complete all your activities day by day. And until next week, Litrot.